Welcome, everybody, to my new Vortex Trader YouTube channel. I am the Vortex Trader, and I've started this channel to primarily focus upon the psychology of what it's like being a bag holder, a long-term investor in the most volatile asset class in the world, our beloved crypto. I have been a spot holder, a bag holder of crypto since 2017. I've seen it all. I've round tripped twice. Sucks. I've been buying in since the bear market of 2018, and I haven't sold a single crypto coin until the most recent liquidation event, which was a couple of weeks ago, and I got out of crypto. 90% of my portfolio is now out of the market. I've exited. I am no longer a heavy bag holder of crypto. And my reason for making this channel now is because I can sort of look at the charts in a more objective viewpoint, in a more stoic view, because I don't have any of that attachment to these charts anymore like I did a couple of weeks ago for so many years. I'm also a profitable day trader. I have been for the last 3 or 4 years. I started day trading in 2018. It took me many, many years of struggle, anguish, strife, you name it. I've been through it. It was a very long journey. And my trader brain, which is somewhere inside of my head, that is developing still, and I think will always continuously be developing, helped me come up with that decision as to why I should sell my bags during the most recent liquidation event. Now, whatever I say should never be considered financial advice. I am not a licensed financial advisor. I'm just another dude with a microphone sitting in front of his PC on YouTube. I wanted to make these videos to show you the reason why I sold and the thoughts behind what it's like for the average human to be invested in these markets, right? Because the point of these markets, as we all know, is we want to make money. We want to get rich, and taking profit where I took profit is not where I ideally wanted, to take profit. But taking profit is never a bad thing as well. So if you are one of those people that did sell the majority, half, maybe more, maybe less of your crypto portfolio, and you're feeling bad, don't feel bad. Life goes on, and there is always another opportunity to jump back in. Okay, so let's look at these crazy ass charts, and let me explain my thesis as to why I sold. XRP. Where are my XRP peeps at? Okay, I sold majority of my bag at $2.70 something the day of the liquidation as we were pushing down. Sold it, got out of XRP. Been buying XRP since 2018. Had not sold a single XRP until that day of the most recent liquidation. Did not want to sell, hated selling. Selling your XRP bags are not fun, especially if you've been involved in the market for as long as, the early guys have, right? Maybe not as early as 2013, 2015, which a lot of people have, but 2017 to 2025, it's a long time. The reason I sold is there's a whole bunch of reasons, a whole bunch of confluence that sort of led to me selling my bags. Okay. One of the main ones being this little yellow zone, which I've drawn on the XRP price chart. We can see that when price decided to rampage up towards the end of last year after the election, this little yellow zone was treated as rejection once, twice, broke through, got liquidated, treated as support, came back up, broke through, got liquidated again, came back up, treated as resistance, came back down, pushed up with the Donald Trump tweet. Right there, let's zoom up a little bit more. Got rejected, came back up, right, broke away, came back up, got treated as resistance again in May of 2025, and finally broke through in July of 2025, 3 months ago, which made the most recent cycle high of $3.65. Now, did anyone sell here? Obviously, people sold here because the price went down and got rejected off of that price point. I did not sell there. Wish I did. I didn't. Price came back down to the yellow zone. Okay, bounced off of it again, treated as support. Bounced off of the yellow zone, came back again, treated as support. Bounced off of it again, but every time we bounced, we didn't make higher highs. Sort of like a basketball bouncing, right? Or any bouncing ball. When something bounces, it doesn't bounce as high every time it hits the floor. It sort of bounces a little bit lower each time. And you could look at the theory the same way. If you are punching through a paper wall or something of the sort, eventually you're gonna break through. That's exactly what happened, and it happened the day of the liquidation, and it happened at that area. Had price not been close to this yellow zone and was sitting a bit higher, and we had that liquidation event and maybe came back down to the zone and bounced off of it, I would not have sold. But because the liquidation event, the day of the liquidation event, started above the zone and just cascaded right through it, sliced through it like warm butter. This area has been treated as support and resistance so many times that right now we're currently sitting on it again, and looking at it from a neutral point of view as a trader, not someone who, guys, we're in a bear market now. Ooh, no, completely neutral. Okay, as a trader, maybe I'll take a small leverage position and enter a short position. Maybe, as a crypto bull, especially for the XRP guys, we want to see one of those majestic candles. We all know what those candles look like. With XRP, it comes out of nowhere. They just appear. This glorious, gigantic skyscraper of a candle just appears, wiping out months and months of bearish price action in one single candle. Okay, XRP can do this. But there's also other bits of data, confluence, that led to me selling, right? Not just this little yellow zone, okay? We had gold cascading upwards and upwards and upwards, all right? Quick note for the traders out there, this little flat double top, we had nice bearish divergence on the MACD's histogram as well as the MACD's moving averages, as well as the RSI below. This could have been a nice area to get in if you were a trader. I myself did not take any positions. I was actually waiting for price to come back up to this, we can call it a neck zone of the double top, just to retrace nicely, underneath it, and then get in to go short. And we can see price did actually reject and carry on going south. However, it didn't retrace high enough for me to get in. But because we saw gold cascading up and looking at ETH was struggling to break its most recent cycle top at around $4,959. Looking on this exchange, which is Coinbase, we all know that in order for the crazy, awesome altcoin euphoric blow off tops to happen in these seasonal markets, we need ETH to play a big role. We need ETH to break through. You want ETH, Mr. Number 2, to break through and make a new all-time high. And we just weren't seeing that as well. So we were seeing gold cascade upwards. ETH was struggling. Another thing, Bitcoin dominance. Pushing back up, we weren't seeing this thing sinking. We want to see Bitcoin dominance sink, right? We want to see it go all the way back down. This gives us another bit of added confluence for a possible altcoin run. Yes? We also want to see Mr. Russell 2000, small to mid-cap stocks in the US, break its cycle highs and run. We want to see all these things happen at the same time. And if these things happen at the same time, we know that if you're looking at it in a probability light, which is the way you should be looking at it, yes, then we know that there's a chance for our alts to run. And me being a bag holder of these large caps, especially XRP, the confluence was not there anymore. Especially because that damn liquidation happened right through my little yellow zone of support and resistance. So selling my XRP was not fun. I never wanted to sell it, right? It sucks. That's the blatant truth. I did sell in profit because I've been buying all the way from my highest price point was around 47, 48 cents. My lowest entry was around 10, 11, 12 cents during the COVID dip. So my average entry was pretty low relative to where I sold. nice profit. A good chunk of capital was made, which I am very, very grateful for. But I didn't want it to end like that. It's sort of anticlimactic. We all want to see the 10, 11, $12 XRP, maybe the 20, $30 XRP. For the moon boys out there that are waiting for the $1,000, $10,000 XRP, I'm rooting for you. I'm not quite sure myself if it's going to get there. If it does, I will gladly, tip my hat and be like, well earned, well played. But everyone's personal situation is different. Everyone's personal financial situation is different. And for me, because of all the confluencing factors that were at play when I sold, right? The timing of everything, it sort of just added up. It was time for me to sell. And it's always weird because you think when you sell, like you're going to feel like the day is going to be a little different, or you obviously always want to sell in euphoria, right? You want to sell in greed where people are buying and prices are pumping. That's what you ideally want. And as a trader, you learn this over time. Selling assets when they're rocketing to the upside and everyone's piling in and you're watching it on mainstream news, best time to sell, right? Best time to sell. Hard to sell. Once we're in those sort of movements, your neutral, logical brain is being overridden by that greed aspect. And you're like, yes, it's finally happening, right? Prices are rocketing to the upside. I'm going to hold diamond hands and selling when it's low and during a liquidation. That really, really was not my plan. And it was just like any other day. And my time zone in the world, it was around 7 p.m. at night. I don't think that I will ever forget the moment of selling. I know exactly what was happening. My wife was busy with work. I was looking at those charts, watching that liquidation, biting my fingernails, being like, oh, is today the day? Really? After all these years, this is what it comes to, a liquidating event through my freaking yellow zone that I've had on my charts for like a year now. Is this why I'm going to sell? Is it really this? And everything else, linking up and with the timing all lining up towards that one spot. I'm like, well, I guess this is it, right? Could be anticlimactic in nature, but profit was taken off the table. And for that, you should never feel sorry for yourself. You should actually feel grateful, because just the fact, if you're any sort of bag holder in any asset class and your bag goes up and you've actually profited, give yourself a nice little clap on the back there. You deserve it, right? Taking profit should never be looked at as a bad thing, because the whole point of investing is taking profit. That's what we want. We want to take profit. So I took profit, and now I'm left with pretty empty bags. They're not as full as they once were, but I'm definitely looking at it from a trading perspective now, and for any possible ways to get back in. Ideally, like I say, we want to see a rocket ship candle for XRP break, slice back through that damn yellow zone, give us a nice candle all the way up until 320, 330, 340, somewhere around there. Then if it retraces a little bit, comes back down to the yellow zone, maybe comes back down to a trend line or a fib level, somewhere where I would be looking, might be a reason for me to get in and go again long, maybe with spot, probably not, just maybe with a little bit of leverage relative to my account size. Guys, when you're playing with leverage, please, for the love of the universe, be careful, because during these liquidation events, we all know what happens to the people that are using crazy X leverage. You can get wiped out, lives are ruined, and it's not fun. It's not cool. Okay, and you scroll through social media and you doom scroll and you death scroll and you read all the stories, and it's just horrible. Okay, we don't want that to happen. No one wants that to happen to anyone they know. So please be very, very careful. Trading with leverage should be taken so seriously. It should be studied and practiced for years and years and years, coming up with strategies and ways to attack these markets, because they will rip you to shreds every single time. And you might think you have the upper hand, and next second you don't, right? You're gambling. So if you're a gambler and you have enough to lose and you want to go that route, cool stuff, go for it. But if you want to take this thing seriously as the average human, just like me, you're just an average normal person living on planet Earth in 2025, and you want to get into using leverage, please, I really, really suggest practicing this craft, because this is a whole new beast, right? It's not gambling. There are ways to become profitable, but please watch your leverage. Okay, watch your leverage. So this is what this channel is going to be about. We're still going to be looking at the crypto markets. We're going to be watching it. I eventually want to start doing some live streams once we've built up the audience. So yeah, if you could and you're interested, would love your support, would appreciate it tremendously. If you could, perhaps, if it's not too much trouble, if you could do the whole giving a thumbs up, giving a like, leaving a comment, hitting that little notification bell so you are notified when I do go live or when I do put more content out. This video is for the normies. All right, this channel is not for the experienced traders, unless you want to watch another person look at the markets. You know, I know you all have your own ways of looking at things, but this is really for the guys that maybe perhaps don't have so much experience trading or investing, and the emotional side of holding, you know, what it can do to the average mind, which you would be surprised can do. Actually, it takes a long time to build that mental strength that you need, especially with crypto. All right, so on that note, I want to thank you all so much for watching this first official release of the Vortex Trader channel, and hope you enjoyed, and I will be seeing you all in that next one. Thanks for watching, everyone.